Okay guys, welcome back to my channel this week. I got a great recipe for you guys. It's a simple recipe. There's really not too much involved in it, regardless of what all this looks like here. But I'm going to break it down to you like I do every other video. Okay, so we're going to go through some ingredients. We're going to show you how to make this. This is what this channel is all about, is teaching people that don't know how to cook, giving you some insight so you guys can get in the kitchen and get some of this good food made. Okay, having said that, I'm going to run down some ingredients here. We have some breadcrumbs over here. I'll put all the amounts in the description below. So we're going to start off with some breadcrumbs. We got some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese here. We got some flour. Basically, this here is the base of your dredging station, which I'll show you in a second. We got some mozzarella cheese. I don't use fresh mozzarella for this. I do use a packaged mozzarella for this that I'll just be slicing up in little slices instead of shredding it this time. I think it lays over the top of the chicken parm a little bit better. It's just how I like to see it. But feel free, if you wanted to use a packaged cheese already grated, or you want to grate this, that's fine too. Not a big deal either way. Got some fresh curly parsley. I'm using curly instead of the flat because it's got a little bit more parsley taste to it, or at least I find that to be. We got some pepper, a couple chicken breasts, 3 eggs, and some salt. This is all it's going to take to do this, okay? And we're going to get this going. I got some oil on the stove heating up to fry this. We'll take you over there. But first I'm going to show you how to cut the chicken up. We're going to pound that out nice and flat so you don't have a big side, small side. I'm going to show you in just a second. Okay, so here we go. We're on to the chicken. We just bought 2 chicken breasts that need to be cleaned up a little bit. You know, we're taking some of the fat off it. We're going to show you how to do that right now. So all I'm going to do is just use a 6-inch. It should be fine for this. These aren't any big deal to clean these up. So I'm going to set one aside, and we're going to just carve off some of the fat. And yes, I do take that whole thing in there because there's a little bit of cartilage in here that I do not like. No matter how much you pound that out, that doesn't work. So I always take that off. We just cut this way. And basically all we're doing is just trying to get all the fat off it. Just like that. Okay. So there's one. See, this is really, really simple. Anybody can do this. You guys can, without a doubt, do this. So I hope you guys make this recipe. And behind me, I have a pot of sauce that I had made the other day. And here's this joint right here on this one. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to flip this around. And some people may disagree with how I do this. That's okay. But I just cut this out. I always cut that out like in a V. Just like this. Sorry, you guys can't probably see that because of the angle. Okay. So, all right. So this is what we have. Now, the only thing I'm going to do now is we're going to fillet these. We're going to cut these in half, okay? So it's important to do this step, and it's important because you want to pound out this chicken, okay? Which you're going to need a Ziploc bag and a meat hammer is what I call it, right? All right, so we're just going to find basically halfway through the chicken just like this, and we're just gonna cut almost like you were butterflying it, and then you just have 2 pieces, right? Okay, so there's your 2 pieces for that one. We're gonna do basically the same thing for this one as well. I'm just gonna cut through. Just watch your fingers when you get to the edge. We're gonna do that and do that. All right, so this is what we're gonna turn into a chicken parm. All right, I'm gonna put these in a bag right now. So we just got a Ziploc bag, and we're just going to put these in a bag just like this. And then we're going to start pounding them. I'm going to pound one for you, so I'm going to let you guys go for right this second. I'm going to pound one, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to show you guys how to pound one, okay? I just don't think it's necessary to show you how to pound them all. Be right back. Okay, so here we go. So we got our chicken in a bag, and you can see how you got one thin side here and one side that's just a little bit bigger. So all we're trying to do here now is we're just trying to make it even, okay? If you guys live in an apartment complex, your neighbors love you. If you have your house, then, you know, nobody hears this, right? So here we go. All right, now you know why I didn't want to pound all that in front of you guys, okay? So here we go with this. So this is, you can see now that this is pretty much the same thickness all the way through, and you want that because you want a good frying time. You want everything to fry at the same time, okay? So our chicken breast is done. I'm going to set up my dredging station here, and I'll be right back with you guys to show you guys how I dredge and what I put in it, okay? All right, hang in there. Okay, so I got my dredging station all hooked up here, ready to go. All I did was dump in the raw flour over here. I scrambled up 3 eggs, and I put the breadcrumbs in here. So the only thing that I do with this now is I just take some salt. I put a little bit of salt, a couple pinches. I put some pepper in it for seasoning. Now you can season the chicken directly if you want to too. That's definitely okay to do that. I do that sometimes, but I guess today this is how I'm showing the recipe, okay? So salt and pepper in the flour. Just mix that around a little bit. Nothing in the egg. And the only other thing I do is take some Parmigiano Reggiano, and I put some in the breadcrumbs, okay? And then I do the same thing with this. You can do it like this. You can flip it around, you know, in the dish itself, like you were frying an egg, I guess. Okay, so that's it. That's our dredging station, okay? Really, really simple. All right, first things first. All right. Excuse the noise. Now, I don't know if I finished what I was saying before. I said that I had a pot of sauce on the stove. I had made a pot of sauce the other day, so if you guys are interested when I plate this in a little bit as far as a sauce recipe, you can definitely go to my my page, my YouTube channel here, and you can get that sauce recipe if you're interested in just making the sauce. I am going to edit that video down because it's very long, and I'm just going to do a sauce recipe. So that'll be up, the shorter version of it. If you want the full version, you know, you can do what you got to do there. Just go to the full version, you'll be all set. Okay, so we're just going to take our chicken that we pounded out. Always goes in the flour, then the egg, then the breadcrumbs, okay? So you're looking for a lightly coated piece of chicken. You're gonna shake the chicken off a little bit. All right, then you're gonna go in the egg, just like that. Okay, very simple. You pay, I think chicken parm now is like $24.95 when you go out. So this will be a good recipe for you guys to do if you guys are in the mood for Italian food. And I cook this all year. I do this in the winter or summer, winter, all year round. And make sure you press in the breadcrumbs like this. All right, you can never have enough breadcrumbs. Now, if you guys also want to double dip these, you can do that. Some people do, some people don't. I don't. I have, but I'm not going to do it in this recipe. All right. So that's all we're doing here. I'm going to show you how to do one here. I'm not going to do all of them for you because it's just maybe a time-consuming thing. Okay, so you're going to shake off just the excess like that, and then this is what you're going to get. This is what you want, okay? It'd be a great idea right now to get a skillet of some sort, start heating your oil up, heat it up to like 375, and I would preheat your oven at this time too to about 400. Okay, so 400 for the oven, skillet's going to go to about 375, and then we're going to get frying these up, and we're going to put them in the oven. I'm going to have some great chicken parm for lunch today. Like I said, it was going to be 350 to 400. I just have a thermometer here, and you can see from what it says it's about 375 to 380, so that's perfect. Temperature will drop when I put these in, even though they're room temperature at this point, but that's what we got. So here we go. We're going to start frying some chicken for our chicken parm. All right, just like that. You should be able to get 2 in a 12-inch pan, which we are. Okay, very good. Just off camera here, I have a plate with a paper towel on it, so as soon as these are done, these are going to go on the paper towel, soak up any little bit of grease that there might be, and then they're going to get put on a cookie sheet, put in the oven with some cheese on it, melt the cheese, and then we're going to plate this up. So I'm just going to keep you with me until these are almost done, or maybe I might let you go, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Finally, a beautiful day here in New York. About 60 degrees today. Even though I make chicken parm all year, it's getting close to springtime here, so I'm glad to be making this dish. Plus, like I said earlier, I was really in the mood for it. Made a pot of sauce the other day. Came out fantastic, I have to say. And thought about the chicken parm yesterday, and I said, you know what? Let me turn around and let me make some chicken parm and get that recipe rolling, because I know I don't have a chicken parm recipe, so I thought you guys might like this. So here we are. We're making chicken parm. So these are probably like 4 minutes aside. It depends on how, basically it depends on how thick your chicken is. You know, you want to make sure your chicken's cooked, of course. But, you know, usually when it's golden brown on one side, usually that'll give you a clear indication to flip these. And you don't have to put a whole bunch of oil in your pan, maybe ½ inch. They don't need to be submerged. You're not deep frying them, so as long as the bottom of your skillet is covered with oil, that's all you need. It was so nice making a pot of sauce the other day. I had some Frank Sinatra on, some Dean Martin on. I was just doing my thing yesterday. I get in those moods, right? You know, I guess you can't help it when you grow up in an Italian household. You always keep that kind of thing with you, I guess. At least I do. I don't know if all Italians are like that, but I sure am. Okay, so these are coming nice. We're just going to turn around and turn this one this way. Sorry about the bump of the camera if I just did that. And we're going to give these another second on each side, and I'm going to turn them, and I'm going to show you exactly what they look like so you know how much to cook these, what state to cook these at. And you can see I don't have a lot of grease, you know, spreading around the stove. This is easy cleanup. It's not like deep frying wings where you got stuff popping all over the place. Alright, so, okay, just like that. That's about it. That's about where we want it, right there. Just that sound, right? I know all you Italian people out there are looking at this. And you're saying, I know exactly what that smells like, I know exactly what that tastes like. So like I said, I'm going to serve this with some pasta. Just a little bit of pasta. I'm going to make a little bit of pasta, have some leftovers or whatever, and So here's another little, I don't know if it's a secret or whatever, but this is kind of how I judge it. You'll get to a point with your chicken, once you turn it, that it starts cooking on the inside. And when it starts cooking on the inside, you'll see these bubbly reactions, right? Here we go, right here. See it? It's a little bit more bubbly than, like, say, a minute ago. Reason for that is because it's releasing all the water that's inside the chicken. So that'll tell you that it's almost done cooking, okay? So you're at a point of turning raw chicken into cooked chicken, and you're about halfway in the middle of that. So usually, if you're busy, see it? See, you just move it just a tiny bit, that water will come out of the center of the chicken. So if you're, see, so you already know that you're almost done with this chicken. And you see the other side, see how it's coming out, the water. So we'll keep that back in. So if you guys are like on the other side of the kitchen and you hear that, once you flip it, that's an indication that you might want to throw some attention on these cutlets here, because you're getting pretty close. Try to keep your heat, if you can, try to keep your heat at, like, 340, 350. Like I said, temperature is going to dive down to about, I don't know, like 315, 310 once you put them in. You can hear that releasing that water. So these are almost done. Like that. There we go. Alright, so I am going to call these done. I'm happy with these. I'm going to cook up the rest of them, and then we'll be back with you guys. Okay? That's the color that you're looking for. I guarantee you cut into those. This is more than this is done. And they're going to be nice and juicy. You can still see some water on the top. So these are perfect, okay? Alright, chicken's all fried. Now we're on to the next step. So now we're just going to turn around and cut up some mozzarella, just like this. Cut this as thin or as thick as you want. I guess it depends on just your preference, whatever you want. There's no scale that we're going by here. Just like this. It's nice if you have a nice serrated edge knife like that. Makes cutting cheese, at least this cheese, very easy, as you can see. Alright, so we got our cheese cut. We're going to push this aside. We're going to bring in our pan and our amazing, you got to admit, these look fantastic. Okay, our chicken is all nice and cooked. Now it's going to be time to put these up like this. Touching these with my hand, they just come out of the pan over there. So they're a little bit hot. Okay, so listen, no rocket science here. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna cover these with mozzarella. Oop. Nice blanket of mozzarella, just like that. And these depends on what, if you can let these chickens rest too, if you want to, a little bit. I kind of did, maybe about 5 minutes by the time I put them on the the tray and cut the cheese. So I had about a 5-minute rest time in here. Another one. I'll do that over there. I'm gonna come over, cut another couple of pieces, 2-3 pieces, just like this. That's right, you guys can't see that. Anyways, I was just cutting cheese, not a big deal. Just like this. Okay, now this is gonna go in the oven at 400 degrees, not the highest top rack that you have, but maybe two levels below that, okay? Because I want the cheese to brown a little bit, and if you think you need more crispiness on your chicken, then put it on the lower rack. That way it'll keep the chicken nice and crispy on the bottom, and that's it. So it's up to you. If you want bubbly cheese with some brown spots on it, put it on the top rack, or almost the top rack. If you want to just melt the cheese so it's like a pillow of mozzarella, you put it on the bottom rack, and that'll crisp up the bottom of the chicken as well. So it's up to you how you guys want to do this. All right, I'm going to put this in the oven, then we're going to come back. We're almost done with this recipe. I'm going to plate this up, minus the pasta. That's going to be just doing that for me separately. So I'm going to show you how basically to do chicken parm today. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are ready to plate. I just took the chicken parm out of the oven. This is what it looks like. This one on the bottom rack for just about 5 minutes or so. Then I just put it on the top rack for a few minutes just to get it crispy around the edges, okay? So that's how I do that. Now we're going to show you how to plate. Now obviously I start with a plate of sauce. And that's just how I always plate this, okay? So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna go just like this. Nice piece of chicken parm right in the middle, just like that. Now we're gonna sprinkle it with a little cheese. Always gotta go with a little cheese, right? All right, and then for garnish, we're just gonna do this. Not too much, just a little bit, just like that, okay? And then because there's parsley garnish, we are going to do that. All right, so guys, this is how I do my chicken parm. If you guys like this recipe, obviously throw a thumbs up, hit that like button, obviously, and subscribe and ring that notification bell, okay? Because that's important. Anytime I post a video, you guys will be the first one to see it. Okay, this is how I make my chicken parm. Until next week, or whenever I get another recipe up, I will see you then.